So I'm still just going in here and just introducing some more of these little dark areas for these shadowed clouds. I know I said I wanted a few little gaps in there where you could see the blue, but I don't want too much in there, just a few little bits. It's all just really wisps. It's wicked. A lot of fun to do. I've just got a few little wispy ones just in here as well. Just a few. Just going on in there. Just the shadowed ones. Just to bring a bit of that down under where this cloud is, because you get a few bits there detaching themselves from this cloud here. You will always get it with these wispy ones. A few bits like that, maybe just down in here. I have a few little areas which I've got there. Some little shadowed clouds. Far away, way away, miles away. Really coming together is this. I'm enjoying this. A lot of fun to paint of these. They really are a lot of fun. Sometimes it's nice as well to just use a clean fan brush and create some more of the orange, mix some more orange up. But I'm going to have quite a bit of it there. And then with that orange, just up in here, I just want to touch a few areas. It's a bit too red, isn't it? I need a bit more yellow with it. Just up in there. Make sure it's orange though, because otherwise it'll just turn it yellow basically, and we don't want it to be turned yellow. It's nice, then that'll mix. I want that much darker in there. See, the darker you do these, the more silhouette against the sky they are, and that's what I'm wanting. Nice and dark. Putting that glow back in then didn't really work for me. It turned it slightly green, so I've just covered over that quick. And what you can do is let it dry and then put the orange in. That's why I put the orange up here first basically, so that it'd stay there and it wouldn't turn green. I was just trying to put a bit of the orange in, and there was a bit too much yellow with it. See how easy it is to turn your sky green. Nice. So okay, there's that. I've fixed it. I wanted it to be a lot more solid in there anyway, and a bit darker, so I get a few of these a bit darker as well, so there's a bit more contrast against it. Worth spending time on this sky. It really is worth it. I love doing these. Satisfactory feeling you get afterwards, it's mega. Right, I've just decided to reset this waterline because I want the sky to be slightly bigger and coming down slightly lower than I had it. But the colour also, I've made it orange in here, and I wanted it to be have a little bit of peachy colour in there as well. A bit of a lovely peachy colour. So I'm just going to put this liquid white, put in a small amount of liquid white all the way in there, because where the tape was, there was no liquid white behind it. And then with that you can just blend into that orange, and slowly but surely that colour will actually, that line will just disappear. That's all I'm doing at the moment. That'll disappear completely for you. And just bring the liquid white up, and instantly that liquid white will mix with the orange above. And then it'll allow us to come back and put some colour in there on the horizon some more colour. So I'm going to use the same orange that I used before, but I'm going to also apply a tiny bit of white to it this time, so that it just changes the hue slightly, the hue of the colour. That's something like what I was wanting. And then I'm going to get a 1-inch brush. That's it for the liquid white. Now, before, if you remember, I mixed up an orange with the red, bright red, and yellow. More yellow than red, much more. Just a nice orangey colour, wasn't it? Something about like that. So all I'm going to do this time is I'm going to use that same colour, but I want to put a little bit of white to it. Not too much, just a tiny amount, and it turns it a bit peachy. So in there, just going to start up in here where I want it to be quite a bit brighter. A bit more of that red in there. There. And actually just, like before, just pretend that that tape isn't even there. And you can just come over with that. And it should just blend into the similar shade that we've got with the other that we had before. Allow it to blend in there. And in here, again, because of that white, it just makes it into a slight more peachy colour. Just in here is where I really wanted that. Just on that horizon area. Nice one. Now, just over in here, I'm going to bring out a little hill that's going to be way, way back in the distance. It's got a little hair there. Just pluck that off. Right, so just in here, we're going to have a big hill that comes through from probably up here, right up here, cutting all that off. So just in here is where I want to indicate something in the distance, quite far away. So I'm going to use blue, black, small amount, crimson, put them colours down on the palette. Not a lot of colour, really isn't a lot of colour there. A bit more of the black and the blue, just a tiny bit more. And then sometimes I just like to put one of the burns in. This is light red actually, which I'm just using a light red into that. And then what you do is you go and grab your white and just mix some on your brush, some of that white. There, see that? That's the colour tone. I want it lighter. See, it's got to be quite subtle as this, what I'm planning on doing. This little hill first of all. Quite a subtle one, so I don't want it to be too dark. It wants to be quite light. Maybe just a bit more of the brown into that as well. It's that's the dark burnt sienna that I've just put in there. A little bit of burnt sienna. Let's have a look. Now, just up in here, there's going to be a little indication, something far away. Just a little, like mountain or a little cliff. Just on the edge, just there, and I want it to be quite soft, so that's why I've done it with quite a light colour. I want it to just stand out, and then this big one's going to come in and totally come right through, so this will be sort of like sat there behind. Don't want it to be too dark though, so what I tend to do, I'll just use a paper towel and wipe that brush off, get the majority of the paint off the brush. And then with that, I'll just come back in and just blend it out softly, just like on this top edge here. I want it quite soft, just gently blend it. just with the side of the brush. I'm using the side to blend this out. You can actually go back with a 1-inch brush and then very, very gently just glide over that. Really gently, just touching it. You're not moving the paint, you're just diffusing it so it sits back there really nice and soft. That's good, happy with that. Now just on the horizon here, I'm going to bring a tiny bit of that lavender in as well. Just in, where am I looking? Just in here. Put a tiny bit of that lavender in there, just along the horizon, in there, and then that's going to pretty much just disappear away, just the same. Gentle. Blend over it like, oh, nice and soft, subtle. And when I'm blending, I'm using a clean brush. Right. I think it's about time we can take this off. So as you can see, it gives us quite a sharp edge, and on this we're not really wanting that. So what I'll do is I'll just go along it and blend it out with the liquid white that's underneath there. Right. See, what I do know is that just down in here, this orange colour, we've got a strip where there's some yellow and orange in the beach, just down in here. So I'm going to paint some of that colour in, probably now while I've got the colours on the brush. So first of all, I'm just going to use like the yellow and tap that out. So that's mainly just the yellow. Sometimes even put a tiny bit of white into that. See that? Nice. It's like a lemon yellow again. Similar. Tiniest bit of red's just gone into it, but that's not a problem. And then just in here, actually going all the way from up there nearly, it is actually just straight down here with some of this colour. Yellow. A bit of that white, right down through the beach, and then just on the edges of that it's going to turn to the orange. Even down in there we're going to have some of that. Very soft. Right, now I'm going to get a bit of crimson, a bit of bright red, sorry, not crimson, bright red, yellow, make a nice orange. I don't want it to be too strong, this orange. I want it to be quite a lot of yellow in it, so I'm just going to get some more yellow out. And this is the lemon yellow that I'm using. Now the ocean, as it comes in, there's a lot of like boulders and rocks going on in these areas. Even back in here we've got some. Really going to be a nice painting to be doing. I'm looking forward to this. I've been looking forward all night to doing this. Right, so again I've got some of that lemon yellow there. Mix a bit more of that in with the red that I've got. It's an orange tone. And then down in here I'm just going to pull a bit of that. Maybe a bit more red in areas as well. Tiniest amount of crimson into it now and again, which always works. I want it quite subtle and soft, don't want it too intense. There. Orange again at this side. And it actually, when it comes down there, it actually goes out to there as well. Right, so at that stage what I'm going to do, I'm just going to Make sure there's enough of that colour pulled all the way through. We've got the yellow strip, and I'm going to get a clean brush again, 1 inch, clean 1 inch brush. I'm just going to get some straight titanium white, just some white this time. There, and into the centre I'm going to bring some of that light. Again, reload again, some more fresh paint. I want quite a bit of paint in this. See how I've allowed it to go on quite blobby and thick, because I want it to be that way. I want to just blend into that colour that I put on the edges and let it go to a really soft, bright colour either side. Same on that one. Just let it go, mix into that colour. It'll be really soft then and still light, lovely and light. Same there. Something like so. Now with this also I might get a bit more of the white just into these outer bits. I think it needs to be a bit brighter than I've got it. On camera I know it looks really bright probably, but there, something like that. And then basically in here where I'll actually bring some of that in to the land slightly. We've got a few little areas where that colour's going to actually come right through and come in inland onto the beach. Same in here. I just want to actually indicate some little areas where that colour comes out into the beach, into the sand, and then it fluffs away on this edge and goes back. You can even put indications of movement and all sorts of crazy things going on. Make loads of crazy stuff go on in here. See that, just blend into that. Nice one. And even up in here, got a few little areas that pop onto the beach slightly. This area here actually pops on quite a bit as well, just like that does up there. So I'll just pull some of that colour through, and these little areas it leaves are really lovely. Sometimes it's nice just to go back into that brush with a bit more colour on it. See that? And just in certain areas I'll push some more of that colour into that. You can even blend that. There we go. I'm happy with how this is going. It's going to plan so far. Right, put them brushes down to one side, and I want to actually think about this horizon line now. So as it goes away, we've got some of the same colours, the yellows and the orange going on in there. So I'll just use a fan brush for now. So I'll start off with the lighter colours, the yellow. Must have had a bit of blue on my brush because it's turned it green. Let's try this one. That's okay. So just up in here along this edge I'll put a bit of the yellow, and it's going to come right through into just in here, but it's going to be a lot softer than I've got it right now. Just putting a little bit of that yellow in. All the way along. Right. Back to the orange tones. And again, because there's liquid white on there, the more you blend this, the lighter it will become. So just up in here I'm going to start using some of them oranges, and I'll bring it up into that yellow that I put in there. There. See, this colour here is going to be predominant because it's obviously reflecting from up here into the water. So all down in here basically I want some of that orange Just using the fan brush here. It's not blending well at the moment because I haven't really got into the liquid white yet. But what I'll do is I actually touch the liquid white down here and then bring it back up again into these areas, you see that? And then it instantly makes these softer and makes it work well. Sometimes you just go straight into titanium white again, and anywhere where it's got a bit too bright, just put that in and that'll really help it just blend lovely. So we want these effects to be quite bright but quite subtle as well. And up in here we're going to actually touch that edge, but I want to use a big brush for it. Or I could just do it like this, you know, but I want to use a big blender brush to make it look soft. Yeah, just come into that and just blend it out so it's not quite so sharp. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, this line. It's not about making it perfectly straight. As it comes in here as well, you do the same thing with the bottom of that. Just let it touch, but then you're more than likely just going to see a little bit of that grey colour tapped up into here because there's some land. Just in there, but softly. It's not really sharp or anything. I want it really soft. This is in the background.